Hi. Hello, hello, lovely people. Hi, happy Sunday. My name is Chef Anna, and today we're going to cook something delicious together. So, first of all, thank you for spending your Sunday with me. And today we're cooking something very Thanksgiving-y, very fall inspired, something cozy, just perfect for this season. And yeah, so if you know me, you know that I'm not a big fan of like strict rules in cooking. So I will give you the framework today, and almost every part of this recipe is very movable. So you can switch the ingredients. So we'll cook everything together today. And while we're cooking, I will tell you how you can substitute the protein. Hello from California. Yay. I'm in Oakland. So we have a wonderful sunny day today. It's hard to believe it's fall actually because it feels like summer. So yeah, we are making butternut squash risotto and truffle meatballs. Very, very on brand, very on Thanksgiving theme today. And we're using protein. Turkey is our main protein today. But actually, like turkey actually is only the Thanksgiving kind of thing. Or like if you want to stay very healthy and you like to cook like lean meals, that's your type of protein for sure. But I know not everybody love turkey. I like turkey, but I talked to other chefs recently and they're like, oh, I never make turkey other than Thanksgiving. So with this recipe, you can use chicken, you can use pork, you can use beef, whatever protein you want, whatever you get from your butcher box subscription, you can use that. But today, of course, Thanksgiving, and actually, I'm leaving on Thanksgiving, so I will not be cooking anything this year. So this is as close to my Thanksgiving dinner as it gets. So let's start by going through all of the things we need to have, and then we'll start cooking. And it's actually a very easy, breezy meal, and you can modify it and make it your weekday meal because it's pretty easy to put together. And meatballs you can make ahead of time and just reheat the next day. So, very family friendly recipe. So, first of all, we need to preheat our oven. And I know in the recipe we said broil. So, I'm not broiling for only one reason. My broiler is very strong and I want to interact with you and to stay connected. And I might forget about my meatballs. So, I'm preheating my oven to 475 Fahrenheit. You can do that, or you can go, if you're are able to watch your meatballs as a hawk, you can go broil. That's what I do when I cook them. But today, I know I might forget, so I'm staying on the safe side. But broiling, just it's a great way to make meatballs because it will give them a nice brown crust, and they will stay juicy inside. Because we kind of want to cook them fast because turkey is a lean protein and it's a small meatball, so you don't need a lot of time to cook it. And with broiling, there is only one problem. It can burn in like 20 seconds. It's like perfect, 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 and it's burnt. So I'm staying slightly on the safer side, but you can go with broiling. You can go with 475, but just start it now if you have not already. My oven is hot. So we're done with that. Then we need to make sure we have everything, all the mise en place for our turkey and our risotto. So for turkey, we need our ground turkey. And again, you can use chicken if you want. You can use pork if you want. But since it's a Thanksgiving season, for sure, turkey is the protein choice. Then panko, breadcrumbs. You see, they're very fluffy, so I recommend to use them because they are not as dense as regular breadcrumbs. And you can add any breadcrumbs, but these will just result in lighter meatballs. They will not feel too heavy. One small onion, one egg, one clove of garlic. You can use as many cloves of garlic as you want. Of course, butcher box seasoning, lemon pepper, my favorite. I think I used it the most out of every seasoning because this one is my everyday seasoning for sure. Others, they have more like character. This one goes with everything. And it has lemon, it has pepper, and it has salt. So first you want to use this one and then add salt to balance, because depending on how much you use, you will decide how much salt you use because it's easy to overseason. Then we need water. And in the recipe, we have 2 cups, but we totally need more. So get a pitcher of water ready because you never know how much water your risotto will absorb. Just have it ready. And we definitely need some truffle salt. I'm going to use truffle salt for my seasoning of my meatballs because kind of goes with the risotto as well because we're using truffles. You can only use it in your risotto, or you can skip it altogether. That's fine. If you don't have truffle salt, just don't use it. Use regular salt. Totally fine. And then we will need this little guy. It's a small ice cream scoop, and it's very, very handy when you shape your meatballs because it will ensure they are exactly the same size or close to that, as close as possible. And you can use it and it will go very, very fast. So this one is amazing. If you have a huge one, don't use it. It will be like if you have an actual ice cream scooper, it will be too big. So you can just make one meatball and just measure every other, just eyeball it and make them match. So this is for our meatballs. And then for our risotto, which is a perfect base for our meatballs, it's just like the perfect thing to hold them together. And it's creamy, it's beautiful, it has all the full flavors. So we have our arborio rice. You see this one? I will show it to you. This one is short and round. So we are not washing it at all. Most of the time when you want to cook your rice, the recipe says you need to wash your rice, and you're doing it first of all to clean the rice, secondly to wash off the starch as much as possible. That's why in the recipe they say wash it until the water runs clean. In this recipe we're not doing that, because we actually want the starches, because they will provide the creaminess of the risotto. It will just make it very, very just like together. It will not be clumpy. It will just be super creamy and spreadable and lovely. All you want in your risotto. Then we need a small onion or a shallot. I'm using a shallot here because I got it from the farmer's market. A couple tablespoons of butter. You can use a little more. It depends on your preference. I'm using truffle carpaccio because it's fall. Come on. Risotto, butternut squash. Of course, you want to add something umami. And this truffle carpaccio is amazing. If you don't have it, totally fine. It will be delicious without it. So no worries. But if you have, this is the time. And of course, a little bit of wine. It's dry white wine. I highly recommend you to use something, of course, dry, because if you will use sweet wine, you will taste it in your risotto. We want a light, bright acidity and not too much flavor. So this is the goal. Some very light varieties like Pinot Grigio or Sauvignon Blanc or Viognier, that will work. Something heavier like super oaky Cabernet, it will make a great pairing for this wine, for this dish. But if it's like too heavy or oxidized, God forbid, oxidized wine, it might impact the flavor. So I would just choose something in the middle. But honestly, whatever you're drinking, unless it's like a sweet white, you can add it because we don't need a lot. But like vibrant acidity is it's what we want just to balance the flavors. And I have some, it's actually not butternut squash, it's honey nut squash. And it's a little bit sweeter. And I like it more because I think the flavor is more sophisticated. And this is, again, what I found at the farmer's market. And you can use butternut squash totally fine. You can use pumpkin, it will be amazing. Or winter squash, totally fine. Again, I started with this one, and then by the time I peeled, and I peel with my knife, and I'm not the best squash peeler, so I chopped a lot. So this is what I have at the end. It's like a little over 2 cups. And what else? Oh, and we need some herbs. I went with sage because I think sage and turkey pair so well, and a little bit of chives just to finish the dish. But again, if you don't have sage, you can use dried sage, of course. But no worries, sage will go inside our meatballs. You can use chopped parsley, you can use dried Italian blend, you can use oregano, everything will work. Just, I think rosemary will be a little bit too much because it has a very strong flavor. But other than that, guys, I think we'll be fine. So see, it's like this dish is already very versatile. You can substitute something, you can modify to your taste, and you don't have to stick with my recipe. You can get creative. I just want to walk you through the process, show you some tricks. Hopefully you learn something today. Like our goal is to learn something. Oh, and 2 more things. How do you figure out when the meatballs are ready? Unless you are ready to cut one of the meatballs. Of course, you can cut and you'll understand. But if you don't want to cut and you want to check fast, this is the thing. It's a meat thermometer. This one is from Thermapan. You can use whatever you have. This one has been with me forever. I have 2. This is actually my husband's. I have one from my cooking school. I don't know, it's already old, but still I haven't changed my battery once. So we'll just stick this one inside. And once it registers 160, 165 Fahrenheit, we're good to go. 160 is like, usually you want to cook your poultry until it's 165, but we'll take it out when it's 160 and we'll let it rest while we're finishing risotto, and it will come to the temperature. So no worries about that. But you totally don't want undercooked meatballs, for sure. And then we need our oil, and I have a bunch. So in the recipe, I said brush it with the Frizzle Graza oil, which is high heat oil. You can do that. I have this spray, which will save you a ton of time. So I'll spray my baking tray, and then I will shape my meatballs and I'll spray them. So the thing is, you always want to spray your meatballs if you're baking them. You want to brush them with oil or spray them with oil to create that layer of fat that will allow them to sizzle, to get this lovely crust, because that's what fat does. Fat gets hotter way faster because our meat has some moisture, water in it. Of course, everything has water in it to some extent. And this type of protein has a lot of water, and it will rather steam and not brown as fast. And oil will help with that because it will heat faster and will create this lovely brown crust, which we really want, because brown protein equals flavor. All those brown bits are delicious. So we'll do that. And then I'm using just regular sizzle cooking oil. This is olive oil you want to cook with. That's it. Because this one can stand the heat. So the one that in a smaller bottle, it's only for finishing, and you can taste the difference. You can taste this one and you can taste that one. That one will feel like deeper in flavor, slightly more bitter. This one feels lighter, more neutral. It contributes the flavor, but it does not overpower your dishes. So this is the one to go. And I feel like this is a new bottle. I need to open it. Let me check. Yeah, for sure. Because this one I go through this like crazy. I cook a lot. And again, they just bought me with the convenience, because this bottle, nothing can beat this bottle. Oh, what is that? Okay, nice. So everything else is ready. Just have a few spatulas, maybe a few tasting spoons, maybe a wooden spoon for stirring. Other than that, I think we are good. So first, before we'll start with our meatballs, we need to start cooking our squash, butternut squash, honey nut squash. I actually started cooking with honey nut squash, I think maybe 2 years ago, just because I bought it by mistake. And it really looks like butternut squash, but you see the skin is slightly darker and the flesh is slightly darker and the flavor is deeper. I love it. But it's like almost a twin brother. Very similar, but not quite. So now we are pouring 2 cups of water. And remember, we'll probably need more water. Okay, let's do 4 cups of water. It's fine. If we have leftovers, that's okay. I always have leftover liquid when I cook risotto. And for risotto, the thing is, okay, let's talk about risotto. It's actually not hard to cook. It's hard not to overcook. Everybody overcooked their risotto. And when I was in cooking school, I learned to make risotto with some kind of stock, whether it's a vegetable stock or it's chicken stock. But then I started learning about Italian cooking, and I learned about Marcella Hazan, and she is the queen, the goddess of Italian cooking. And she said that cooking with stock will just take away the flavor from rice. You just need to use incredible rice and it will contribute the flavor, and you don't need to overcompensate with any other stock. So she recommends to cook just with water. And since we're having this lovely squash here and we're simmering it in water, it's kind of already like vegetable stock. So I want to keep highlighting the fall flavors, the like very clean flavors. But if you feel like it, next time cook it with any stock you want. So I will add my truffle salt because mushrooms and risotto, they always go together, and it will add the level of umaminess. Sometimes you like I use mushroom salt in many dishes, even if I don't add any mushrooms, because you will likely never detect mushrooms, but you will detect the complexity that this particular salt will add, like something, je ne sais quoi, I don't know what, something. And this is nice. I also make my own mushroom salt. When I forage mushrooms, I just dehydrate them and I bleach them when they are dry. I bleach them until they are very powdery, and I mix them with salt. And I will show you. I have it here. And this is my mushroom salt, and it's super umami. It's savory, but when I season with it, you cannot say, "Oh, there is mushrooms inside." No, no mushrooms. You just feel the umaminess. So it's on my medium high heat right here because I will do other stuff and I don't need it. We just need to bring it to a simmer and simmer until our squash is very, very tender. So dice it, I would say a quarter-inch dice, just to, or maybe slightly larger, but not too big, because you want it to incorporate nicely, because we will puree half of the, more than half, but the rest will go into our risotto and will create this lovely texture and some chunks, but we don't want like chunks this big. We want them small. So now we will make our meatballs, and it's super easy. Oh, okay. First, we'll dice the onion. And dicing the onion here is very important. We want to go as small as possible. Practically, we're almost mincing. The thing is here is onion will take more time to cook than our turkey. And if the chunks are large, they will never cook in time. And you will bite your meatball and you will taste the onion, the raw onion. We don't want that. So what we're doing here, okay, I'll get my trash can close to me. We're peeling away the first top layer, and then we will dice our onion as small as we can. And to dice it small, we want to get a very sharp knife. And I will do it like this. I usually put my hand here and I put my knife parallel to the board. I know my hand does not allow you to see. So we're going 1, we're going 2. Usually I do it like that, but if I'll do it like that, you will not see anything. So we're still keeping the root part because it holds everything together. And we're not slicing all the way, but we're going 1, 2, and we have 3 parts. And that will allow us to go fine. And then we're just following this half moon pattern. And we're doing it like that, as close together as possible. Like that. And then just like that, very, very, very finely. And we'll see if we need the whole onion or not. Maybe we'll just need half of the onion. I will add it to our turkey and now let's see. Because every onion has its own size, they're not the same. Let's go like that. And make sure you don't have any large chunks. So see, I have like one that is on a larger side, so I'll just dice that. And this is the dice we are aiming for. Like very, very small. I think one half is enough. So I'm using my bench scraper to scrape everything, put it here, and then we will do the same with our garlic. We want to mince it, cut the root part, then place your knife again parallel to the board, cover the garlic, and press with your palm, smash it, and then go like that. Okay, hold the tip of the tip of the knife and go back and forth, and just mince, 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 like that. So we don't want large chunks of garlic either. Nice. Okay. Yay. Okay, I'm crying already. This onion got me. Whew. And then a generous amount of our seasoning. All of the breadcrumbs. And 1 egg. An egg acts as a binder here. So it will help us to bind everything together and hold our meatball together. So we are not like, we want to incorporate all the ingredients, make it like come together, but we are not forcing it too much because we don't want to make our ground turkey too dense, because it will result in a very dense meatball. We want a light meatball, not dense at all. So I will add a pinch of salt, and I think, oh, and I'm adding the truffle salt. You can use regular salt, that good pinch. And if you want to taste your meatball, you can microwave a small chunk of it for like 20 seconds. It will cook it and you can taste it, or you can fry it on a pan. And you can taste the seasoning, because it's hard to tell. I've been doing it for a long time, so I know, like my hands know, my brain doesn't know, but my eyes, my hands, they will measure for me. But if you are not sure, just fry a small piece on your skillet, taste it, and decide. And you can always add a little more turkey if it's over seasoned, or add a little more salt, or like add breadcrumbs or onion. That's fine. So this is it. And now I'm using this one baking tray. I think 1 baking tray is enough for us today. Okay, so my butternut squash is simmering. So I'm lowering to keep the simmer, but we're not boiling it. We don't want it to fall apart. But I will start the timer for about 6 minutes. I think that will be enough for it to completely get ready. 6 minutes. Okay, 6 minutes for our butternut squash, and then we'll do the test. We'll prick it with the cake tester, and if it's so soft, it's done. It's done. So our baking tray, either just brush it with oil or spray. So this way, the bottom part will brown and the top part will brown. And now we have this one, and we will portion our meatballs like that. And don't push it too much inside. just like that. So for now, we're just portioning, and then we will shape. We'll see how many we'll get. But this way, they will be not exactly the same, because I'm like, I'm not super precise, but very close to being the same. And I have a smaller one. You can go smaller. Then you will have to cook them slightly less time. This one is weird. And if you want to air fry this, totally do it. It will work out. Air fryer is great for this recipe. And if you want to use any other herb, again, oh, I forgot to add my minced sage. Okay, that's fine. I will fry it and add on top. Totally fine. So if you want to add any chopped herbs, go ahead. Parsley will work great. I think I love dill, but I don't think dill works for this recipe, honestly. So okay, we'll do something else, something interesting with our sage. I will show you. Actually, I learned this technique from one chef when I was helping him with his Thanksgiving class, and he always fries his sage in a lot of butter until it's crispy, and he puts it on top of his butternut squash risotto or whatever he's making. He makes turkey roulade, whatever he's making, and it just adds the layer of crispiness and like lovely texture. So today, since I forgot to mince our sage, we'll do that. I'll show you how to do that. So now I'm spraying my hands lightly with oil so they don't stick. And we are lightly shaping our meatballs. We are not pressing, because pressing will result in a very dense meatball. We don't want that. We want our meatballs to be light and juicy. Cool. Very, very fast. And the oiling your hands helps a lot. So you can work fast. And I will probably, you can wet your hands just with water, will work great as well. But you will have to do it a couple of times. And with oil, just I think works better. Okay. Nice. And if you want to add other spices, totally do that. Some chili will be nice. Paprika will be awesome. You can go adventurous with your spices like turmeric or any like cool spice blends you like to use, like za'atar. Sumac will go amazing here as well. Okay, so I'll wash my hands and I will spray the meatballs. Shake. So this is faster than brushing, and sometimes brushing it just you can slightly change the shape of your meatballs when you brush into hard. So just light brushing, don't put too much oil, just a good light coat. And my oven is at 475, and these are going in a middle rack. And can we please start a timer for, let's say, 5 minutes? And then after 5 minutes, we will rotate the baking tray just to make sure that the back meatballs and the front meatballs, they're cooked at the same time. Because sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, it's like I have not met in my entire cooking career, I haven't seen an oven that cooks evenly in the back and in the front. So you always want to rotate your, whatever you're making, you want to rotate to make sure everything cooks evenly and browns evenly. So let's see what we have here with our lovely butternut, honey nut squash, or butternut squash if you're using that. I think it looks good, but I want to prick it with a cake tester. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's nice. I will taste. Nice. And the timer is telling me that this is the time. So I guessed correctly. So what we want to do right now, we're scooping a little bit of this honey nut squash right in here. Just some chunks, not the water. We will add the chunks back. The water is staying here because we will use the water and we'll puree the water and the chunks together. You can use your blender. I will use my immersion blender. Okay, I think this is enough. It's about half a cup of, I still have some liquid, so I'll pour it back. Okay, so, well, I have about this much. Setting it aside. And now I will use my blender, this one, to puree everything. And we'll have hopefully enough liquid to get us through the whole risotto cooking situation. Okay. Ooh, sorry, I'm shaking the camera here. Be careful, it's very, very hot. Okay. You see, it's not like a soup. It's more like still like very liquidy. That's what we want. Because we want this to incorporate the flavor, but we will need, because the rice will absorb all this water. So we don't want it to be too thick. And if you have like a few chunks here and there, that's totally fine. You don't have to go completely smooth. Because again, we will add some chunks later. So if there's still like few chunks are floating around, that's fine. So what we want to do is to put it over the lowest heat we can to keep it hot, but not boiling. And we don't want to evaporate the liquid here. So this is what we have. And now we can start cooking. And I will use half of my shallot, like a bigger part, because shallot always comes in 2 halves most of the time. So this one we don't need, this one we'll use. And again, we want to chop it as finely as possible because we want the chunks to be, when they are cooked, almost or as small as the rice. But I know it's not realistic. So almost as small. And let's start preheating our pan as well. So there is a special risotto pan, and it looks kind of like this one, but it's very round. The sides are round, and it's very good for risotto because risotto is all about stirring. It's like a baby. You need to babysit it. You cannot leave it. You need to stir because it will stick to the bottom. You need to constantly add more and more liquid. So with a rounder bottom, it's just easy to stir and easy to cook it evenly. I don't have that one because basically you need it only for one thing, risotto. And my rule in the kitchen, if the appliance is used only for one particular thing, and you need to make it often. And I don't make risotto often enough to justify buying an expensive risotto skillet. Okay, so I'm peeling the outer layer of my shallot here and doing exactly the same thing. Sorry, I would usually do it like that, but again, you would not be able to see anything. So this is like that, and we'll do the same here. And we are following the lines, cutting as close as we can, and trying to match our rice. Like that. And the chunks will cook down a little bit and they will get smaller. So, but just again, try to go as fine as possible here. So let's start preheating our oil over medium heat. I will move my skillet very, very soon, but for now I'm just chopping. Get a very generous amount of oil. You see, I added enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And this is a very, very simple dish. As like most of Italian cooking is very simple, very homey. So we definitely want to use good ingredients here. That's why it's important to use great squash and good olive oil and to add some lovely, lovely truffle flavors here, not like fake truffle flavors, but real truffle flavors. And I know that truffles are very expensive, but this is Thanksgiving. And I hope you will make this risotto for your Thanksgiving because it's such a crowd pleaser. I want to check on my meatballs. Woohoo! Nice. So they are sizzling. And what I will do, I will rotate the pan already because I feel like they need it. And otherwise I will forget. Woohoo! Nice. And I'll like you can touch your meatballs and you can tell that they are already like springy and firmer. So my meatballs need maybe 3 more minutes. So I will go ahead and turn it to broil. Can we start a timer for 3 minutes? Team, please. I will start my timer. Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully nothing will burn because my broil is unpredictable. But I touched my meatballs and they are almost there. I will show you. They are already white. Just a sec. I will get this one. So you see, they are very, very white. They don't have any color, but I want color. But they have some color underneath. But I want some color on top as well. That's why I will put them over a broiler for 3 minutes. And this is it. So I will add the shallot here, and I will move my cooktop so you can see everything better. Like that. And okay, we'll do it like that. Nice. And shallot cooks fast because it's teeny tiny. So we want to stir to make sure they completely cover it with oil. That's lovely. And now I will take a couple of sage leaves and I will slice those and I will add them a little later so we'll get the flavor from the herbs into our risotto. And we want to cook it over gentle heat because we don't want our onions to get brown. So I'm on my medium-low heat. We want everything to get soft, not caramelized, not brown. It's not that kind of recipe. So I don't think I need my knives anymore. I'm cleaning as I go. And my meatballs have 30 more seconds to go. We'll see. And probably a couple more minutes for shallots. You already can tell they're more translucent, they are softer. So 2 more minutes and then we can add the wine. Yay. You can add a teeny tiny pinch of salt to help your onions to release the moisture and it will speed up the cooking process. Okay. My meatballs. Whew. Okay, so our meatballs are pale, but underneath they're actually very beautiful. So let's see, I'm not turning off my broiler just yet because I really want to see the temperature inside my meatballs. Okay, I'll cover the pot a little bit. Hopefully it will stay. Just a sec, I'll hold it like this. So let's check the temperature here. And we are just inserting inside like that. And we have 170, 175. Yay, that's enough. That means they are done. So all we wanted is 160, 165. We got 175. Totally fine. And you see the part where it touched the foil is actually nice and brown. Whoop. Amazing. That's what I like. And the thing is, because foil and metal heats faster and like higher than the air, air does not have the capacity to brown that much when the meat makes a contact with the surface, metal surface. It gets into this reaction where the protein browns and sugar browns, and it creates this lovely, lovely crust and a great flavor. So now we see that our shallot is soft and it's not brown. It has some golden color, but it's because of our oil. Oil has this lovely green golden hue. So now we want to add our wine, and we can just increase the heat to medium, and we want to evaporate all the alcohol from the wine. And guys, this is very important because if you will not do it, if you will not evaporate all the alcohol and you will add the rice, you will still taste the alcohol even after like an hour or like whatever. As long as you cook your risotto, you will never get rid of that alcohol flavor. So make sure you evaporate almost all of the liquid here, because if you will have any traces of alcohol, they will stick to the rice and that's it. And you'll ruin your risotto flavor. Slightly more. And alcohol evaporates fast, so we don't have to wait too long. But still. And this is the time where we can add a pinch of sage if we want. You can also add some thyme. Thyme goes well here. Nice. Taste the liquid, and if it does not taste like wine anymore, just sharp and acidic. Yes, perfect. Now we're adding all our rice at once and start stirring. So the idea here is to cook the rice for a couple of minutes with the onion and the oil. We want to coat our rice with the oil so it will, once we start adding the liquid, it will release the starch, but the grains, you will still tell them apart, that they are not clumping together. That's why we need to coat our rice in this beautiful olive oil fat, like that. Yes, you put the wine. Oh, no. The wine goes in before. It must have been the mistake in the recipe. You must put the wine before the rice to evaporate the alcohol. It's a must do thing before the rice, always, always, always. And then we'll start adding the liquid. Okay, so there is no goal to cook the rice on a skillet at all. So we just want a ladle or something as close to a ladle as possible. Let me see what I have here. Maybe I have it here. Yes, I have a small ladle. And I want to move my water. If you have a chance to keep your water on a very, very low simmer, this squash water, do it. Now, what I want to do, I will actually use a measuring cup. You want to add about 1 cup of liquid, and you want to cook it over very gentle heat. And we're not adding a lot. We're adding a little bit at a time. And we're developing the starchiness and creaminess of our risotto. So it needs to gently simmer, very, very gently. So adjust your heat. Since I'm using this induction stovetop, oh, see, little bubbles, this is what we want. No more than this. This is the highest heat. Medium low on my end. With gas stove, it's so much easier. And we are stirring all the time. So at this point, you want to grab a glass of wine that you did not add to your risotto and start sipping, because we'll be here for some time. And you can cover your meatballs with foil so they will keep warm. And this is what I will do. My foil, but I want to stir my rice because you see, it gets creamier. So it is the time to add another portion of water, about half a cup. Again, we'll have a couple of chunks of squash, totally fine. Nice. And again, bringing it to simmer. So my meatballs are covered with foil, like so. So they are warm and nice. And when my risotto is ready, I can top it with my meatballs. And the thing why we are not adding all of the water at the same time is because we will never achieve that risotto-like creaminess if we'll do that. That's the rule here, because that's the method of cooking to develop that creaminess without adding heavy cream. And you can actually skip butter. I like butter. I would not recommend you skipping it. And if you have any hard cheese like Parmesan or Pecorino Romano, that's a great addition to this recipe. I highly recommend you to finish your risotto with that, or just to shave or grate it on top of your meatballs and risotto all together. It will just add another dimension of flavor. And you see, we already can like see that it thickens and the grains are wider and slightly plumper. That's the goal here. Very, very gently, gradually cook the rice. And meanwhile, I will open my truffle carpaccio. And you can add as much or as little as you want. Cheese, you add at the very, very last minute. Actually, I have some Parmesan and Pecorino blend 50-50 that I did just yesterday. I put it in my food processor and blitz it together so it's super finely grinded, and I will show you. And yeah, you don't want to add your cheese and your butter until the very, very last minute. So a little more. When the risotto will look slightly drier, we'll add more water and keep the water hot. My water is hot because I'm using this cast iron pot and it keeps the liquid hot. Like it's very hot. I can barely touch it. But if you're using a very like thin pot or saucepan, just please keep it over very low fire. So I will add more like that. Add like no more than, for this amount of rice, no more than half a cup at the same time. Just a sec, I will show you my cheese. I have it somewhere here. Okay, yeah. So I do this blend of, see, it's very finely grinded. It's not store-bought. I don't like store-bought stuff. I get like a good fresh chunk of Parmesan, and sometimes I get a Pecorino Romano, and I just put equal parts. Like I just break them into smaller chunks, and I put them in my Cuisinart, and I blitz until they're very almost powder-like, and then I finish my pasta and risotto with it. But if you are dairy-free or vegan, you skip that part. It will still be delicious. You don't have to add butter here. You can actually add vegan butter if you want. So you see everything is plumper, and you can taste it, but it still tastes very raw. So, but it's getting there. Oh, it's so delicious. Oh my God. So the thing is, we want to cook the rice like we cook our pasta, to al dente. We don't want this rice to be mushy. That's why it's so hard, because there is a saying, risotto waits for no one. And it's so true, because it is perfect only for a certain amount of time. If you will leave it in a pan and wait for everybody until they're ready to eat, it will overcook under the heat of your pot. And once you feel like it's a perfect al dente stage, you put it in a warm bowl and you serve it, or like warm plate. So I'm waiting until my oven gets cooler, and I will put my serving plate. This is my serving plate. I'll put it in the oven to warm the plate so it will not cool my risotto down. It's generally a very good practice to keep your oven on if you're not using it for cooking, you're just making dinner, put your plates in the oven on a keep warm or like 100 Fahrenheit, and make sure they are warm. And serving your food on a warm plate just makes it so much better because it just stays warm longer and it just feels cozier. I know it's like one extra step, so you don't have to do it, but if you can, why not? I like doing that. Not always. I don't do it every day, but it's nice. So again, very, very creamy. You see it's like starchy, gets thicker, and we have not added any dairy yet, and it's already super creamy from the starch. That's why we are not washing risotto rice. We want to get a very, very good risotto rice, and this one is arborio, the one that every chef loves, called aquarella. And if you see it, they sell it in this metal cans. If you can get that one, it's not crazy expensive at all. Get it. So again, see, most of the liquid has been absorbed, so we can add more. And I will add, again, about half a cup. Yes. That's why you cannot leave risotto, because you need to stir and make sure nothing sticks, because all of those starches, they will stick. Trust and believe. And again, you want this perfect al dente. You don't want to overcook your rice, like you don't want to overcook your pasta. Okay, get in there. I'm getting 1 small spoon for my truffle carpaccio, and I'm not chopping my carpaccio. It's very thinly shaved, and I like it that way. If you want to incorporate, so you have no large chunks of truffle carpaccio, you can name of the rice in the arborio. Aquarella. The name of the rice is Aquarella, just like the restaurant in San Francisco. Aquarella. It's a very, very good rice. Highly recommend. I'm using the arborio rice that comes, I think it might even come from California. I will show you the brand. Oh, this is the brand that I'm using. Lundberg Family Farm. I believe it comes from California. I need to double check. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. It's a good one as well. You see how plump and creamy it gets. But the thing is, every rice tastes differently. Tastes absolutely differently. And when you ask a professional sushi chef what's the most important part of making sushi, they will say cooking and choosing the perfect rice, not the fish. The fish is so secondary in that. Of course, like you want the freshest fish. It's like it's insulting when you say, "Oh, fish is so fresh." Of course, if they are like real chefs, they will bring you the freshest fish. But making the rice, choosing the rice, that's where they feel like they mastering the craft. Okay, adding all of the liquid, and I used about half. See, I still have plenty. I used about half of my liquid. We'll see. You never know how much you will use, so it's better to have more. I said for this recipe it's 2 cups, but I felt like it's not safe to assume that. Sometimes it's 2 cups, sometimes it's 3 cups, and sometimes it's like 3.5. You never know. It will never take less than 2 cups for sure. 2 cups is the minimum, but like stay on the safer side. And again, I will start tasting the rice already because I see how white and plump it got. Okay. Okay. Get in there. I think I will do a few more additions and we'll see. The rice is like not done, not done, not done, and bam, overcooked. So taste as often as you can. It's beautiful. I think for Thanksgiving, if you like to cook and you don't have 30 people, like if you have a small Thanksgiving, it's a good one. Spell Aquarello. I cannot. Okay, our tech support. Please drop it in a chat. Aquarello rice, because I cannot spell that. I'm the worst speller, and that's not an easy word to spell. Okay, more. See, now the rice, since it's softer, it can absorb more liquid faster. So we'll start adding our liquid more often. Maybe we'll have to use all of it. We'll see. Every brand of rice behaves differently and like depending on many conditions. Again, it's like with pasta. You always want to check the cooking time on the box, but you don't want to trust it. You want to taste and decide for yourself. It's good to know, but it's not always the case. And you see the volume increased as well because the rice is plumper and it released the starch and we added the liquid. So we have more in our pan as well. When I was in cooking school, on our final exam, they made us make risotto, and they made us make like something like a protein and a sauce to go with that, and French omelet. So I totally failed with my French omelet, but I made a perfect risotto. That was nice. But I wish I made a perfect omelet as well, because now I mastered that one. I cooked French omelet every single day for I don't know how long until I got like consistently perfect results every day. With risotto, I don't know. I just feel it. It's so easy for me to make risotto. It's not easy to make risotto for a ton of people and serve it perfectly at the same time. When I was in cooking school, we had to make one bowl of risotto. That's easy. Okay. Good. Let's add more. I think we're very close here. Very close. And this is my dinner tonight. I'm very happy with it. Smells like Thanksgiving already. I feel like the only thing that would make it a very celebratory dinner, a dollop of cranberry sauce. I think that's the only thing that's not here. But I think it's too much. It's pushing the limits a little bit. I'm not sure the Italian grandma would approve that. Okay. So I have not changed my heat at all. So it's at medium low. Still going strong. But yeah, the thing with keeping your liquid hot, if you will add cold liquid, it will shock the rice and it will decrease the cooking speed, and you will not get this creaminess because rice is hot and you want to add hot liquid to make this process smooth and fast. And again, move the rice to develop this creaminess. If you will forget about the rice, it will not deliver the result. So again, tasting here. I'm tasting often because I want to know. I think my verdict is I'm adding like quarter cup of liquid and I'm done. And then I will finish with butter and all of the rest because my rice is still chewy it has the bite in the center. It's like slightly more right now than I want, but it's almost there. So you want the rice to get this lovely, lovely bite. If you don't feel the bite, it's too late. You cannot go back from there. But it's a good thing. I would not call it risotto. I would call it pumpkin kasha. And kasha is a Ukrainian and Slavic name for porridge. People here think that kasha is only buckwheat, but actually it's any type of porridge. Oatmeal would be called oat kasha, oat porridge. Rice porridge will be called rice kasha. So all of that. And buckwheat kasha will be called buckwheat kasha, not just kasha. Okay. See. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Yay. Okay, adding a little bit and we are done. And I still have my like fair amount of liquid left. See, where I'm not using that, and I'm super glad that I have it. It's better to have leftovers than to run out of liquid, because then you will have to boil water super fast and start adding. Okay, my oven is cooler now, so I'm putting the serving plate in the oven to warm it up a little. And now, butter, truffle carpaccio. Don't follow the recipe. Add as much or as little as you want. You don't have to follow it. And I decided that I want to add a little more sage. Let's add. You can fry this sage in hot oil or hot butter to release the flavor, and just stop, like whole leaves, and just stop it like that. But it takes a lot of time, and I honestly want to eat this risotto so badly that I will just add a little more. And adding it at the beginning infuses the liquid, and right now it will just add a pop of color and another dimension of flavor. So think about that when you cook something. Add it at the beginning and then add a little bit at the end when the herb is still giving this fresh herbaceous vibe, and it's beautiful. So, okay, you see it's creamy, it's amazing taste. Perfect. I'm taking it off the heat. So you see, this is what you want. You want it slightly liquidy, but not too much. I'm dropping the butter here. I'm dropping the butter on the board, but now incorporating the butter, very last minute to add the creaminess. And my risotto is off the heat. This is it. It's turned off. The skillet is still warm, so the butter will melt. Add a good amount of truffle carpaccio. Yeah, beautiful. And now the cheese. As much or as little as you want. You can skip it. It's not in the recipe. It's just my tip here. Yay. Always, always butter, cheese, and like precious ingredients like truffles at the very, very end. So now I will move this one and I will plate. I have one last thing I want to add, and it's my chives. And I'm so proud. This chives comes from my garden. I don't have much. I have very little chives because I just planted it, but still we have it. That's nice. We'll add pop of color, a little bit of freshness. So, yay, like so. And now we can plate my warm plate. So your plate needs to be warm, but you still not like hot. You still want to be able to touch it with your hands. And now my plating spoon, my risotto. So for risotto, you don't have to use dinner plate. You can use a pasta bowl. Will hold your risotto nicely, but like so, in the middle. And now have my meatballs ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, let's do 5. Why not? 5. You can drizzle with a little bit of truffle oil or good quality olive oil, like Graza finishing oil. This one. Just go like that. Go like this. And if you have fried chive, oh, not chive, but sage leaves, do it. You can finish with a little bit of fresh sage leaves. And we have our lovely risotto, our lovely meatballs with turkey. And please make sure that you're experimenting with your cooking, like cooking, especially if you're not baking. Just follow your inspiration, follow your mood, and be brave, be creative. Might not work out, but you tried. And like most of the time, it actually works out just fine. And you'll be surprised how much like creative combinations you can create. So thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you for cooking this Thanksgiving inspired meal with me. And happy Thanksgiving. I will not see you before Thanksgiving. So I'm just super happy that we spent this Sunday together. Uh, have amazing time with your family. Cook them some risotto, maybe turkey meatballs, or just a huge, amazing, gigantic turkey. That would be lovely. This year, this is my Thanksgiving meal because I'll be traveling, but I'll have something delicious for sure. And come for my next class. I will be making shrimps with like a ton of butter, garlic, toasted bread. We'll make a wine pairing. It will be lovely. And yeah, thank you so much. Lovely seeing you as always. Until the next time. Bye.